In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. These are the generations of the heavens and the earth when they were created. Yet, what lies beyond them is a completely different story. For ages, in the space beyond time, there was absolutely nothing. Floating dust, small fragments of stones, soil, water, and unknown matter. But at some point, those tiny fragments of mysterious material begin to move toward one another, as if destined to meet, as if pulled by an unseen energy, until they finally formed a diamond. The diamond began to pulse, glowing with the blue light at its edges, and then a massive explosion caused by merging of particles. Flying lands were formed, small stones and diamonds scattered everywhere, and trails of diamond dust waved across the vast surface. At the very center, a perfectly polished diamond hovered, and around it, the silhouette of a human began to take shape. The man looked as if sculpted by Michelangelo himself. His body was cold and his soul hungry. Inside him, he felt immense reserves of power, which he quickly began to discover. This was the birth of Mekar, the Eater of Worlds. A being who became the nightmare of both the known and unknown corners of the universe. During his existence, planets vanished one after another, their life consumed, their souls devoured, allowing him to grow stronger. With each planet, he gained more and more diamonds for himself. From a few of them, he sculpted his firstborn son, Adam. Adam was faithful helper and pride. He brought his father's souls to consume, and some of the spared souls he turned into warriors, aiding in the destruction of worlds. On one of the planets, Bula 848074, inhabited by beings similar to those we know from Earth, a woman survived the destruction. She sneaked beneath the cloak of one of the Ether warriors and disguised himself as one of them, fascinated by what had until then been unknown to her. Mekar noticed her one day among the crowd of withered warriors, and in that instant, he was captivated. She was different, beautiful, and yet he sensed no deception. Lizara, because that's her name, also felt something toward Mekar. They decided to live together and create new life. That is how Sheesu was born. His birth, however, caused great turmoil. Lizara could not bear the power within him, and a curse took root in her body. Then, filled with hatred toward every race other than the Eater of Worlds, Mekar decided to banish her from the land and turn his hatred upon his second son. He used me only when I was needed for his missions. I was kept chained in a dungeon, and the only one who cared for me was Adam. Though he was made of stones, he had feelings within him. The years have passed monotonously, day after day the same, sitting in the dungeon, chained, until one day mission came. One that changed my life forever. The warriors attacked the planet Earth. They didn't destroy it completely, but they killed 99% of all life on it. Among the 1% that survived was a dinosaur-like creature who later became the subject of countless experiments. Sometimes I could watch their progress, but it was too painful. How could anyone treat a living being like that? Today, you know her as Sora. because that's the name we gave her. She was my greatest inspiration because she was everything we weren't. She created, we destroyed. I couldn't allow all the worlds she built to exist only to be consumed by my father, so he could sleep satisfied every night. It was time to break the chains.
Quickly, they snuck into her pod and carried her swiftly to the intergalactic transport depots. Alan's Blair One's Central Command has detected a breach into Sora's pod and the illegal use of an intergalactic travel pod. They scrambled the disignited coordinates in an untraceable cipher to prevent anyone from locating Sora ever again. As the entire room rumbled and Sora spun in place, they pressed their hand against the glass and spoke to her. "You will be safe now, Sora. This will just be a little bumpy trip and you might not remember me, but..." They clutched their chests, suppressing tears as they said their goodbyes to the child they had raised.
Yes, I did it! I saved a life. One that could create many new ones. But that's when it truly began. I had to face my father, who had grown tired of not being able to control me. "Father! Between us, you are the villain! Do whatever you want, you can kill me, but you will always remember me as the first living being who stood against you. Foolish child. Of course I won't kill you. That would be a blessing, Adam." Adam, following his father's command, reluctantly swung his blade before my face, leaving a wound across my nose. But me, unmoved. "Trying to scare me, huh? You'd better unleash your entire arsenal right now." And then, there was only a flash of light. I couldn't see anything. When I opened my eyes, I was falling at a terrifying speed. What would happen? Would I survive? Would my 9 diamonds keep me alive? It felt like I was falling for ages until suddenly I lay somewhere in a field, not knowing where I was. This is how I lost my first diamond. Time to fend for myself. So this was it. Medieval Poland. Was this where I'd spend the rest of my life? I spent many years as a fallen patron for travelers and knights. When they faced the hardship of their daily lives, I watched over them, and at night, I protected them. Yet, in my thoughts, there was always her. Sora. I decided to change the way I look, so other travelers wouldn't recognize me. And then I set up to find Sora. But what were the chances we would ever find each other? Would she even remember me? As an Eater of Worlds, I still possessed many powers from my previous life. I thought I had to rediscover them on my own. Being a being beyond time, I could travel through all eras. I decided to give up being a patron and become a traveler myself. I changed my appearance throughout the ages and set out in search, until finally... Sora? Our hands touched, and I felt that this was the place where I belonged. This was my home. What happened next? That's another story. If not for her, I wouldn't be telling you this today.